Even though it's quiet period, things are starting to heat up in the defensive line recruiting. So we got to talk about a few players who have dropped their top 10s, top 8s, as well as an actual top 5 with a commitment date. We got to dive right into it. All that coming up here in about 10 seconds. Good, everybody. It's your boy Jay here with Unfair Sports, where we take a pensive approach to the sports conversation. Thanks for pulling up to the YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to talk about some defensive linemen that have put out their top 8s, their top 10s, top 5s, as well as a commitment date and some updates from the transfer portal. Some stuff that I owe you guys from the last few days. So your boy is going to pull up and give that to you right now. So thank y'all for tuning in. At the end of the video, I'll explain all the stuff I owe you, but for the most part, I owe you all a good 4 or 5 videos, and I've got a few of them in the chamber or whatnot. Now that I'm back home and able to really focus on this, we're going to make the magic happen. And so I want to first dive into each one of these defensive linemen that have put out their top teams over the last few days, and kind of my thoughts around our chances of really landing them, along with a commitment date that's coming up and updates around the transfer portal. So we'll start there first. Jordyn Tyson, the wide receiver from Colorado, the 3-star out of Texas that we were looking at. We did not win that sweepstakes. He did end up committing to Arizona State a few days ago. And so definitely unfortunate. What I was hearing from some people I know is that we were doing a very good job on the recruiting side. We were actually up there in the upper echelon of teams that we thought we were going to win them. And Arizona State kind of swooped in and snatched him up. Now, don't fret, people. We are still on the prowl for some additional depth at the wide receiver position. So I believe that we are still after Keon Coleman. I don't think we're going to win him. I do believe that LSU has that one in the bag, but we'll see. Obviously, his recruitment's not over yet. We'll see what that looks like. And then, of course, there'll be some additional players that hit the portal and should be available with some grad transfers or whatnot. So we'll keep our eyes open on how that recruitment is going there. But with the Jordyn Tyson piece, I was a little shocked that we didn't end up winning him. But at the same time, it looked like his brother went ahead, committed to Cal, and is going to stay at Cal. And because of that, it looks like they're both going to go stick it out there in the Pac-12 and Pac-10 or whatever the hell they are right now. And so we did not win him. And also, I believe Jordyn Tyson, I mentioned it in the video when I talked about him, that he had hurt his foot at the end of the season, had a leg injury. And it doesn't look like he's going to be back to play until probably a few games in or mid next season. And so, unfortunately, he wasn't going to be able to contribute immediately. The young talent would have been great to have to develop long term, but you win some, you lose some. The transfer portal giveth, and the transfer portal taketh away. So let's go from there and dive right into the recruits we're going after in the 24 class that I think is some big freaking deals, especially because it's a position you all like talking about, defensive line. We'll talk offensive line soon, but defensive line right now, we actually have some news and some momentum and some movement going on right now. So let's dive into that real quick. Okay, some defensive line news. First, let's look at some of the big name players that have dropped their top numbers. First off, Williams Nwaneri, the edge defensive lineman out of Lee Summit in Kansas City area. He is dropped his top 10, 5-star, one of the players that I'm going to be honest, I'm probably the most confident about. He's probably the one that I think that we have the best chance of landing, mainly because he played with Caden Green, who is one of our offensive tackles now, and PJ Adebayo came from the same area, and we're going to see PJ do some crazy stuff, and because of that, I can totally see Williams thinking that, that's me as well. Most of his recruiting is low-key. He's a pretty quiet and shy guy. He does go out and visit. Unlike PJ Adebayo, he actually goes out there and sees a lot of places. But I do believe that we have a really good chance and a really good relationship with Williams and Nwaneri. So if there's one player that I'm excited about that I think that we could really win, he's probably number one on my list of players. But these are the teams that he went in and dropped for his top 10. And I don't believe that he's going to do any type of commitments until closer to his senior year, if not during it. So these are the teams. We've got Tennessee, Missouri, Alabama, Oregon, Georgia, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Nebraska, and last but not least, Colorado. So you got a lot of elite teams on there. And then, of course, the up-and-coming one here with Colorado being the one that's in the news all the time. Williams is looking to go ahead and put his stamp there in college football. And honestly, my anticipation is we win these sweepstakes. So cross your fingers, toes, keep your eyes open. And it looks like Ohio State's in this sweepstakes, which is shocking. But I'm going to say I think that a lot of teams are bowing out because they see us as the team to beat. And I think we've got this one in the bag. Next up, we have Nigel Smith out of Melissa, Texas, the big monster of a defensive tackle / lineman / edge, whatever he wants to be at 6'4", 264. He has set up his top, his top 8. He got his top 8 on the list. So you've got here on the screen, you've got Oklahoma, you got Texas, you got Rutgers, Penn State, Ohio State, Georgia, Texas A&M, and Arkansas. And so if there's 1, 2, and 3 out of this one, he's probably number 2 on my list of players I think we're going to land. I'm very confident in him. Reading a lot of the articles that's been coming out from some of the insiders or whatnot in their interviews, and it sounds like him and some of the other defensive linemen have been chatting about potentially coming to Oklahoma and making a statement and making a difference there, especially playing for Coach Bates, Coach Venables, and now Coach Chavis, who's been doing a fantastic job of attracting a lot of this young talent as being a young guy himself. It seems like a lot of players are gravitating to him. He's very energetic. And so I can see Nigel going ahead and make that decision to come here with a few others like Ajonye, Inwaneri, maybe David Stone. I don't know. There's a few of them, but I do believe that we're in a really good place right now with Nigel Smith. Some of the national guys have made mention that we're in a very good position. And of course, some of the others are still lurking. Ohio State's probably the one that's lurking the most when it comes to Nigel Smith. And for Inwaneri is Tennessee. It seems like they're the ones that is kind of lingering around right now. And so because of that, I'm thinking that, there's a good chance for us to get Nigel. If I'm going to put a percentage on it and throw out a crystal ball that I shouldn't be throwing out because I really don't own any of them, I'd say we've got about an 85% chance of landing them. Like right now, it looks like On3 has him listed at about a 78% chance of coming to Oklahoma. Based upon all their insiders, 24/7 has us as the leader right now for Nigel Smith. So I'm going to hold on to that and believe that that's where we're going to get rivals as well. So let's cross fingers and toes, but I do believe that we win the sweepstakes for Nigel Smith as well. And we solidify a massive defensive line, something that we've been needing for a while, just because now we've got the coaches that can definitely bring those players in. And so that's Nigel Smith. He dropped his a couple days as well. And so cross fingers and toes. Let's look at the last one. The last one we'll dive into was going to be Xadavian Sims out of Durant, Oklahoma. 24/7's rated him as the number 1 player in the state of Oklahoma. Dude is a monstrous beast, 6'4". When he did a measurement I saw on his Twitter account back in March, 6'4", 200 and about 68 pounds, so basically 270. At 16 years old, he'll turn 17 this summer. So he's going to graduate at 17 years old, playing his senior year at 17 years old as a ginormous human being who has nothing but room to grow. And so Xadavian has dropped his top 5 and an announcement date. Some of us will keep our eyes out for May 20th. So that is next weekend? Next weekend, we're going to find out where Sims is going to play ball at. Here's his 5. Posted up on the screen. You've got Vanderbilt, which is kind of a shocker to me, Oregon, TCU, Michigan State, and Oklahoma. And so right now on the machines, we've got Michigan State as a leader over on the On3 side. I believe that 247 as well has Michigan State as the leader. But I've heard some words that there's a really good chance that Oklahoma can steal Sims away. Not saying they will, so I did him last. Not only did I do him last because of that, but also because of the fact that he actually has a commitment day coming. So we're going to start seeing some of this stuff come to fruition. We're seeing a light at the end of the tunnel in recruiting defensive linemen. I want to tell you all this. Welcome to high-end recruiting in the trenches in college football. I'm glad to have you all here with me because this is what happens in the SEC and stuff all the time. This is what happens in the Big Ten all the time. it's a grind in getting these elite defensive linemen. And as long as you're in the fold, baby, you're doing something right, because that means there's a lot of players that would love to take their spot if you got the opportunity. And so for us, we're jumping on the players that we feel like could be the most impactful for this team. And so I do believe that we'll get another 5-star defensive lineman. That'll be 2 classes in a row with a 5-star defensive lineman for us to go with. You know, on the edge, we had PJ. And then on this time, I think we can get a defensive, get an edge as well as a lineman. So I'm confident that somebody's going to land, that Bates and Chavis is going to do their thing. But looking at Sims, he's a monstrous sized guy. I mean, I've done a video on him before, and I had somebody actually make mention to go look at some game film from one game that wasn't very favorable for him, but you can kind of see his technique and see that he's got the motor and the ability to be great. You just got to work with them, and I appreciate that more than anything. So if y'all have some thoughts or whatnot on any of these players, feel free. Hop in the comments. Let your boy know what's your thoughts on these athletes, who you think we're going to land, who you think we're going to get. And yeah, I want to hear from you all. And as we were pushing for those 10,000, that number 10,000 subs, we're about 87, I think about 40. We keep fluctuating up and down. I'm losing folks and gaining folks. But don't worry. I'm going to get back on all the content. We're back into a better groove. Plus, it's quiet. It's May. It's not much going on. Really, all the conversations around Colorado, and it's the same stuff over and over. But I do have a Colorado video coming for you all tomorrow, so keep your eyes open. I promise you this time, I didn't get bamboozled at the airport this time. I'm at home. I'm recording it actually right after this, so it'll be up. And so before I wrap up, I wanted to apologize for the delay on the videos. I've been playing around with shorts just to keep some content going and keep the channel busy. You'll see a lot of that, so just keep your eyes open. If it's not for you, feel free to just swipe away. You will not bother me on that. If this is the content you want, stick around for it. You're going to still see this. It's not going anywhere. I'm going to drop a video, an unlisted video, and put it in the community post so you all can watch it, and I'll explain kind of the strategy of what we're going to do for the channel going forward. And we're going to do some things. We're going to do a lot of cool stuff. That's the goal. And I'm trying to level things up, that way we can really put some cool content out. So keep your eyes open. We'll talk more about it. So hop in the comments, let your boy know your thoughts on these players, and we will chop it up in another day or two, because I got a lot of videos I need to drop for you all. A lot of content's come down the line, and I want to talk about some stuff like over-unders and everything. So watch out for the shorts. Watch out for the videos. We'll talk soon. Peace.